Hey guys, Mr. Seema here. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the patch 5.4 notes. A very controversial one. So let's not waste time and get right into it. So we're going to start off with champions. For Azir, they changed the way his passive works. It no longer grants a point in tower destroyed, which only affected fantasy LCS points. Moving on to Janna, they changed how her passive works. Now it works exactly like Captain Boots the enchantment. And also, they changed the fact that her W gives more move speed, so when she uses it to slow and damage people, she loses more move speed in exchange. These changes will affect her greatly in combat, because all her team is going to lose effective combat movement speed in exchange for being able to move around the map faster, so maybe we're going to start seeing teams use that to their advantage, and she's going to be less oppressive, less strong in combat situations because the team no longer gains that movement speed to be able to move quickly through the battlefield. Overall, Janna isn't going to be affected very much by these changes, but she's still going to remain a strong pick. She's still going to be very good in solo queue, very good in competitive, because she's going to offer the same amount of utility she always has. She's going to provide that shield, that attack damage increase, the knockup from the tornado, and that beautiful disengage doubled with a heal on her ultimate. Now for Jarvan. Jarvan has been a dominating force for the past few patches because of his immense gank pressure, great team fighting, great CC, and overall tankiness. And in this patch, Riot decided to tone him down a little bit in the later parts of the game by removing the armor from his Damascene Standard, his E ability. This will also affect a little bit his early game because everybody takes his E as his first skill for jungling because it gives that attack speed to increase the clear and also that armor for extra tankiness, and he gained 10 armor at level 1. Because Riot removed that, they also compensated a little bit by adding him 3 armor to his base armor. So effectively, he has lost 7 effective armor, which will give him a little bit of trouble in the early clears, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's not going to deter people from playing him or picking him because all of his strengths are still there. And that is why Jarvan will still remain a great pick. The armor change will also affect the people who like to max his E second for the extra damage, the extra armor, but I personally prefer maxing his W for the lower cooldown, the increased shield, and the increased slow as well. On a side note, the Dragon Strike change is only a bug fix, which was warranted and would not change very much his playstyle if you land the EQ properly. Moving on to Kalista, a champion who suddenly saw a rise in popularity, a sudden surge in play, both in solo queue and competitive. Riot decided to tone down her slipperiness. Basically, they decided to tone down her passive to make her less slippery, because what they did is make her auto attack animation slower. Therefore, she can't jump all over the place all the time, which in return is going to make her easier to catch, and I believe this is a change that's going in the right direction. They didn't nerf her overall power. She's still the same Kalista. She will do the same thing, and she's still in a good spot. Let's see what's up with Kassadin. Poor Kassadin. He basically got kicked in the nuts by Riot. They neutered him. They removed what made Kassadin Kassadin. They nerfed the range of his Rift Walk ability from 700 range to 450 range, even though they compensated that by reducing the mana cost, which in return makes his 4th jump a lot less costly. But that's not going to compensate for that huge loss in power he just received. And throughout time, if you look back at Diana, at Akali, when they had their ultimate change in a similar fashion, and Akali more recently, they don't see any more plays, because range nerfs usually requires a different playstyle as well, and sometimes the champion can't even fit that playstyle. And if you look at Kassadin, he's a melee, mage, assassin. He is squishy. He doesn't have a defensive steroid apart from the magic shield he gains, which only works on magic damage. So if he decides to go in, he will mostly likely die. He won't even do enough damage. He won't live long enough to be able to do that damage. And I don't think we'll be seeing Kassadin much in the future, because this was a very big change, and unless Riot decides to compensate him in another way, because they essentially remove what made Kassadin, and in that aspect, unless they give him back an identity, a theme, something he can play around, I don't think we'll be seeing much more Kassadin in the near future. Riot should seriously ask himself this question: what is Kassadin? Who is Kassadin? Because as it stands now, I don't believe they have any clue where they're trying to go with him, or what he's supposed to be as a champion, design-wise, theme-wise, lore-wise. Before, it was pretty clear. He had a magic reduction passive, which he still has now, but he also had a silence, and that silence played into a theme that Kassadin was pretty much an anti-mage. It was made to counter the traditional caster's mid, with the silence and with the reduction in magic damage from his passive, and he tried to keep that theme going on with the spell shield that he gained from his Q, and maybe they could work towards that idea that Kassadin is supposed to be an anti-mage, and maybe he doesn't need his gap closing ultimate ability. Maybe they could do something else and work around that theme, that idea that he's an anti-mage, and do something with that. Moving on to another solo queue superstar, Katarina. Katarina now needs to deal damage to an opposing champion within 3 seconds of them dying in order to get the reset. What this change is going to do is, it's going to make the Katarina that gets behind in the game not be able to get back into the game as easily as before. Because I'm pretty sure we've all had this game where we told ourselves, cool, I shut down this Katarina, she's like 0-5, and somehow, 20 minutes later, a bad teamfight happens, she manages to tickle someone, one of your teammates dies, she gets an assist, therefore gets the resets, and then the teamfight just snowballs out of control, and somehow she's back in the game, 10-5, and the game is unwinnable now because she just one-shots your carries and is able to snowball a teamfight in her team's favor. This change closes the window where she is able to get a reset and makes it a 3-second window where she has to deal damage to someone to be able to get that reset and get off in teamfights. Therefore, when she is playing from behind, it's easier to keep her behind and easier to shut her down and keep her down. But if she somehow manages to get fed, she's still the same Katarina as before. So I think it's a good change in my opinion. It rewards good Katarina players, and it deters bad players from trying to pick her up and hoping to get a reset in teamfights, because now you have to actively try and get resets by damaging someone in that time span of 3 seconds. For Lissandra, surprisingly she didn't get any nerfs this patch, and I'm pretty sure nerfs are planned for her because she's really strong at the moment. Very popular pick, and that's usually how you could tell when Riot will nerf a champion or no. But in this patch, she only gets a bug fix regarding her E ability, her glacial path, her claw. This bug made it so she could surprise enemies by using it over a wall, using it in a bush, and you couldn't see where the claw landed, and then she would just appear out of nowhere and burst you down, lock you down, and then kill you with their team. That's all for her. It's a good fix, and I predict that she'll probably get nerfed in the near future. I'm surprised she didn't get nerfed this patch, seeing as how popular and how much flexibility she brings to a team. But that is for Riot to decide. Right now, let's talk about Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser's health costs are going down for Q and W. Q gives Mord a range bonus for the empowered hit. W got the Blood Boil treatment, where it buffs both Mordekaiser and his buddy Kassadin. Also, Mord and his buffed buddy get bonus movement speed when moving toward each other. Mordekaiser's Ghost gives him bonus health and ability power, rather than attack damage and ability power. Ghosts also get a flat attack damage bonus as opposed to a portion of Mordekaiser's bonus stat. Basically what Riot is trying to do is take Mordekaiser away from this bursty mage into more of a bruiser slash fighter. They're trying to make Mordekaiser an AP bruiser right now, which I think is very cool since they didn't change his ratios at all. He could still be played the same way, but the concept is they're trying to make him a scrappy fighter, and I love that idea. The changes to his Q, Mace of Spades, gains 75 bonus attack range, which is extremely good because I'm pretty sure if you've ever played Mordekaiser, and you ran into this situation when you try to auto-attack Q someone, they could just walk out of it and then your Q would be charged and you have nothing to hit, nothing to damage with. And this is a good change. And the reduced health cost on his abilities in general is also tied to the fact that he doesn't have as much HP regen as before. Therefore, they need to compensate that loss of HP regen somewhere, because Mordekaiser, unlike most health users that use HP as a cost, don't have a way to regain it. Unless he uses his ultimate on someone, but he only gets that at level 6. The change to his W, Creeping Death, I find it excellent as well. Since it gets the Blood Boil treatment, you can cast it on one of your carries, one of your frontliners. They gain extra armor and magic resist. They deal more damage when they're in the melee of things, when they're in the fight up front, tanking, soaking damage, dealing damage as well to multiple targets. And also, if you need to catch up to someone or someone needs to catch up to you, you can cast it to that person and they walk faster, whether you're walking towards them or they are walking towards you. And the more I think about the current Mordekaiser now, the more it starts to give me all these crazy ideas. And Riley's Crystal Scepter is probably going to be a core item on him, because if you think about it, if he casts his Creeping Death on someone, his W, that person gains extra armor and magic resist, and on top of that, they get a self-peel, they get a slowing effect on themselves, so they can catch up to people faster, or they can disengage easier if it's on the 80 carry that you casted. At 40% cooldown reduction, this ability has a cooldown of 7.2 seconds and an uptime of 6 seconds. If you do the math, there's only a downtime of 1 second, so you could permanently W one of your carries or one of your frontliners, depending on what you're trying to do. And because Mordekaiser doesn't have an innate CC, having a Crystal Scepter will make it easier for him to be able to brawl, scrap, fight, and fight for long periods of time without getting kited too much. Even though there was a reduce in the damage department, I think the utility that it brings more than makes up for it. And also, the fact that you can cast on someone increases the effective range, the effective damaging range of the skill itself. And also the reduced health cost, again, is tied to the reduced HP regen he has now. And now for his ultimate. This ultimate change also reflects the fact that Triad is trying to move away from the AP burst caster into more of an AP bruiser, because the enslaved champions grant Mordekaiser 25% of their bonus health and 30% of their AP from 20% of their attack damage and ability power. So, this makes it so you have the incentive of using your ultimate on a high health target to gain more health and be able to fight longer, be able to regen that HP, regen that shield, return the cost of your skills because you've used it on a high HP target, on a tank basically. Enslaved champions gain 25, 50, 100 attack damage as a bonus compared to 75% of Mordekaiser's AD and AP. This is mostly a nerf for his rank 1, rank 2 ultimate, but it's a buff for his rank 3 ultimate because 100 AD is more than 75% of his AD that he has at level 16. I feel that Mordekaiser is going the right direction. I think he's going to see a lot more play, and the bruiser side of him, the AP bruiser side of him, is probably going to see a lot more play, and I hope that it sees some success to a certain degree. Maybe Riot will need to nudge him a little more in the right direction, but I like where this is going. Now for Rengar, even though it doesn't seem like a big change, it really is a big change for Rengar players, because you no longer need to stack up your Bone Tooth necklace to be able to access the third upgrade of your trinket, whether it's the Scrying Orb, the Warding Trinket, or the Oracle Lenses. It's a good change. It's been a long time coming, because ever since they made that change that Rengar doesn't lose any more stacks upon his death, I think it was just natural to be able to shift him that way. So he doesn't need to buy Bone Tooth necklace anymore. He just uses normal trinket like every other champion. And that's it for Rengar. For Syndra, they are fixing a bug with her E, how it interacts with her orbs, basically her cubes, and they're trying to make it more consistent, and I like that change. But what I would like to see them do with Syndra is revert the damage change they made before and increase the mana cost. Because when you think about it, the problem with that ability wasn't the damage it dealt, it was actually the cost, because the cost combined with the damage, it only cost 40 mana, and it did so much damage at level 1 she could just spam it, and even if she missed it, she still had mana to keep harassing her opponent. Now, if you think about it, if they increase that cost, it will make it so players had to be more skillful with it. They wouldn't just spam it and hope to land it someday. They had to be accurate with it and be able to damage the enemy team to push him out of the lane. In that way, she wouldn't be that much of a lane bully, but also would reward skillful players. Now for Veigar, another champion who got the shaft in this patch. Q is now a skill shot that passes through the first target hit to get the second, so farming's a lot easier. W is cheaper on mana and has a lower cooldown. Event Horizon now has a 0.75 delay but costs less mana, has a higher range, and has a lower cooldown. R's mana cost is down significantly at higher ranks and has a slightly lower cooldown that has a slightly lower ability power ratio. With the removal of DFG a few patches before, it sucked for Veigar, but at the same time it really didn't, because the targets he needed to kill, the AP carry or the AD carry, he could one-shot them still, even after the removal of DFG. Veigar's real strength didn't really come from his ability to one-shot champions, because a lot of champions could do that, but what was really broken about Veigar was his instant stun in such a huge area as well, for such a long duration. And there wasn't much counterplay to it. It was, imagine if an Annie flashes Tibbers on you. It's up to the Annie to mess up, more so than for you to react to it. Sure, you can, but even if you did, it would still be up before your flash came up again. And that was a problem with Veigar. They are trying to move away from that aspect of having no counterplay at all. And did they succeed? Well, it is a step in the right direction, I'll give them that. But as of now, let's go over the changes in his skill. Baleful Strike is now a skill shot that passes through the first target hit and stops on the second target. The range is increased from 650 to 850. The cooldown is increased from 87654 seconds to 6.5, 5.5, and 5 seconds. So overall, an increase of about 1 second, almost at all ranks. For all of you guys who had the chance to play Bard, the Baleful Strike acts in a similar manner, where you hit the first target, it moves through, keeps going, and hits a secondary target, and then stops. What this means is Veigar can farm the AP from his Q faster and more efficiently if the chance permits him. Like if there's too low creep, he doesn't have to choose anymore, he can just place himself and get 2 AP like that for free. And in my opinion, this is a good change. It makes him more interactive, less brainless, and also gives room to actually outplay him, unlike before. And that's where the change of the cooldown came in, because he could technically farm his AP faster than before. His W Dark Matter has been buffed across the board. It has a lower mana cost now, 20 mana at rank 5 compared to 110 to 90. The cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds at rank 5 as well, which is good. So this is a buff for his W. And it hasn't changed, it's still the same thing. Has a great AP ratio, but very hard to land. And now his E, Event Horizon, an ability that has changed, that has caused a lot of controversy in the past few days, and it's something we're gonna have to see how it pans out. It now has a 0.75 second delay before appearing, instead of 0 at all. So it doesn't appear instantly. You can react to it, there is counterplay. But at the same time, what I want to say is, maybe that delay is too much. Like, maybe they should reduce delay to 0.25, 0.5, something lower so that Veigar can actually land them. Because right now, it's way too easy to just walk out of it. Anyone with a brain, as soon as they see the formation of the ground, will just walk out of it, and nobody will get stunned at all. And they compensated that by reducing the mana cost, lowering the cooldowns, and also increasing the range. All these changes are nice. It's a step in the right direction again, but the 0.75 second delay is just too much window for his opponents to react. Like, sure, it's good to give them a way to counterplay it, but this is too much in my opinion. A good comparison is, if you ever played Veigar, try to land his W on someone without landing a stun. That's how hard landing his stun is right now. And on top of that, he can't even land his stun anymore, so he can't land his W properly. So either you speed up his W or lower the delay on his E. An even better comparison is Cho'Gath's Rupture. Try to land that skill against good opponents. It's very easy to dodge, but it's still possible. So why not make Veigar's E similar or slightly better, because it's such a core skill of this champion. And now for his ultimate, they reduce the AP ratio and the mana cost. The mana cost I find it normal, because a lot of champions these days have an ultimate that either costs from 100 to 150 mana at all levels. There's not many champions who go outside that mana range. They also reduce the cooldown, which is nice, but at the same time, I don't really get why they reduce the AP ratio when they remove DFG. That's just very curious to me. Maybe Riot messed up. Maybe they'll give the AP ratio back. Maybe they'll do something like, when you land your stun on a target, it rewards Veigar with extra damage or something along those lines. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It is a step in the right direction with this E, the concept of it, but the execution, I find it very poor. Right now, I don't think Veigar is in the best of spots. He was starting to see play as support and competitive, and now they're taking that away. So he won't be even a good support, and he's not even that good of a mid anymore. Unless they start to do these small tweaks, these small changes to make him more fluid, more responsive, better to play. And for now, I don't think Veigar is that great of a pick. I don't think he's a great pick at all. But later on in the future, I'm pretty sure they're going to do something that'll make him better than before. Right now for Xerath, it's just a small number change. They reduce the stun duration. They reduce it by 0.5, which is a lot, which is good. And keep in mind, if they just do this small nerf, get ready for Xerath to get nerfed even further in the future, because Riot doesn't like long-range mages as much as they like flashy mages or people who can outplay, who can make big plays, because it's more interactive, it's more fun to watch. That's why Ziggs got nerfed so hard when he got nerfed, and that's also why Lux got nerfed so hard when she got nerfed as well. And Xerath is the next in line for that. So keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen. You'll probably get the nerf hammer pretty soon. And that's all I have to say for Xerath. He's a great pick. Try to pick him up. He's all skill shots, super fun, but really hard to play against in certain matchups, so try him out. Last but not least, Zilean. He's the last one of the trio of big changes this patch, and I think the greatest success this patch. I love his new design, I love his new ideas, I love his new concept overall. So let's talk about Zilean. Q is now a lob skill shot that can land on an opponent or sit on the ground. If you land 2, you get a 1.5 second stun. W no longer interacts with R, so you don't have to play this weird spam W minigame to get your ultimate back. At max ranks, E slows at 99% movement speed. I'll say that again. At max rank, E slows at 99% movement speed. What I really like about the new Zilean design is Riot is trying to move Zilean away from the standard mage, the standard AP carry, and more into a supportive role, which I really love actually, because I thought Zilean was one of the best supports ever, and I didn't want to use a spot to pick him and put him mid, when I can actually just put him support. But his mana cost and other problems did not make him the best support, but he worked for a while because of his super good passive back in the days, where it gave global experience to your whole team, which was amazing, but they removed that. So let's look at the changes. His base armor got increased from 17 to 19, that's not a big deal. His attack range got reduced, which is okay. It's not going to affect his overall playstyle. His attack frame sped up lightly. Doesn't mean that Zilean attacks faster, just he completes his attack faster. What this means is it's going to be easier for you to CS, because if you ever played Zilean, you know how much of a pain it is to try and CS with his auto attack, because the animation was that bad. He also received new basic attack particles, and new icons, all the good stuff. Let's look at the changes to his skills. Q, Time Bomb. Zilean's got a Power Glove. Time Bombs are now a locked skill shot with fixed travel time. Time Bomb sticks to enemies and allies near it. If nothing comes nearby, the bomb detonates normally. That was a Bomberman reference, if you guys didn't get that. When Zilean gets 2 bombs on the same unit, the first bomb detonates immediately, stunning all enemies in the area for 1.5 seconds. Time Bomb delay got changed from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Damage got nerfed from 320 at max level with a 0.9 AP ratio to 300 with a 0.8 AP ratio. The range got increased because it's now a skill shot from 700 to 900, and the cooldown got changed from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 right now from a flat 10 seconds at all level. And also, the biggest change on the Q, except that it's become a skill shot now, is the mana cost. Instead of costing 130 mana at rank 5, I repeat, 130 mana at rank 5, it now costs 100 mana at rank 5. I find all these changes amazing because it'll make Zilean more interactive, more fun, less brainless. It's gonna make him have more teamfight presence, it's gonna make him a threat, even though in the support role, because now he has an AoE stun potentially, and the costs that are lowered will make him able to use his skills more freely instead of being gated so hard by mana. And Zilean does not have to base the best mana pool ever, but now he can actually be able to cast his spells more freely and frequently. His Rewind W did not change at all, they just removed the fact that it interacted with his ultimate. But that's not really a big deal since we'll get into his ultimate later and see that the cooldown has changed as well. His E, Time Warp, the duration has been changed from 2.5, 3.25, 4, 4.75, and 5.5 to 2.5 seconds at all ranks. The only thing that has changed aside from that is the slow amount has been changed from a flat 55% to 40%, 55, 70, 85, and 99%. The cooldown has been lowered again, which is nice, and the mana cost has been changed from 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 mana from 80 mana at all ranks. Again, this is a nice buff. They reduce his mana cost, they increase his utility, which makes me more inclined to believe that he's made to fill a support role now instead of your standard mid lane. Because, remember, they also changed his passive that only allies that are nearby will gain that bonus experience. And so if he's playing a solo lane, nobody's actually using that passive except himself. And if he's playing support, he could get that level 2 faster, though he doesn't really get it faster because it doesn't work that way. But he will be able to get that level 6 faster for sure, faster than his lane opponents, and be able to dumpster all over the lane just because of the level advantage. Even though the range got nerfed a bit, that is pretty much inconsequential, because if he is playing a support role, it doesn't matter where he is position-wise, you'll always be able to speed up or slow someone. So that doesn't really matter at this point, and it's only a 75 range reduction. Now for his ultimate Chrono Shift, they changed the duration from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. That's a good nerf. I think it was needed, because waiting 7 seconds sometimes got your teammates killed just because you wanted to kill that priority target, you wanted to wait it out. And now, can actually wait it out, because 5 seconds compared to 7 seconds is very short. The cooldown has also been changed from 180 seconds at all levels to 120, 90, and 60 seconds at level 6, 11, and 8 and 16 respectively. And usually Zileans will want to build 40% CDR, and when that happens, the cooldown on his level 3 ultimate will be at a cooldown of 36 seconds, which is extremely short when you think about it, because if you put it into perspective, a minion wave spawns every 30 seconds. There you go. Meaning it will be up for every single fight, you'll always have it available, you don't need to spam your W, and at the same time, it's a great skill in itself. My thoughts on Zilean right now, I think he has a bright future in the support department. I think he's very good. His stun on his Q, the change, is very good as well. Makes it more interactive. The speed up and the slow change on his E makes it an incentive to actually rank it up, because before you would just rank your rewind up as much as you can, get it on lower cooldown, spam all your abilities as much as possible. But now, you actually have choices with Zilean, what you want to do. Whether you want to be a CC bot, whether you want to deal more damage, or do whatever you want, whether you want to have more speed, more slows, more stuns. Choice is up to you, and I like what they did with Zilean. I really love it, and I think he's going to be a great pick. Maybe in competitive if someone picks him up, but for solo queue, having a Zilean ultimate on your side is always good. And now he has stuns, he has a super slow, he's amazing. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. This is going to be it for me. I just went over the most important parts, tried to share my knowledge with you so you guys know what's up, what to expect this patch, what's good, what's not, what's bad, what people are crying about, what people want back. I know I didn't touch the most controversial subject this patch, which is the jungle changes in general, but that's gonna be a video on its own because I'm biased. I'm a jungler myself. I love the jungle. The jungle is my baby, and I want to take care of it. I want to share with you guys my thoughts on it, what's good, what's bad again, and the rest is just bug fixes in this patch, a few cosmetic changes, and another important one is DJ Sona is out, and I recommend you guys check the skin out. Buy it. It's amazing. I think it's the best ultimate skin we have up to date, and I just love it. Like, I'm in love with it. I will also leave the link to the patch notes in the description box below so you guys can check out what I didn't cover, which is mostly unimportant things or just cosmetics in general. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Next episode is probably going to be on the jungle guide. Reason I did this video was just to practice, and also because my next jungle guide got delayed due to the patch changes and me losing all my replay files, but I'm working on it. And also, rate, comment, like, subscribe, give feedback, critique me, anything, I will take it, because what I'm trying to do is just share my knowledge with you guys, improve how I speak, how I present things, the format, everything. I want to know what you guys think about it, and I want you guys to help me help you. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.